In the shadowed streets of New Orleans, during the sweltering summer of 1918, a city already wrestling with war and disease found itself facing an enemy far closer to home, one that moved silently through its neighborhoods at night, leaving terror in his wake. This enemy became known as the Axeman. No one knew his face. No one knew his name. All they knew was the sound of an axe splitting wood, the crash of a door forced open, and the horror of bodies discovered in bedrooms, slain by a brutal, invisible hand. The first attacks were shocking, but not entirely uncommon for a city with its share of crime. Yet the details made them unforgettable. Homes were broken into, families attacked, and the weapon, always an axe, was often taken from the victim's own home, as if the killer wanted to leave a signature without leaving a trace. Sometimes he killed. Sometimes he merely terrorized, leaving families alive but broken, the air still heavy with the smell of sweat, fear, and blood. Panic gripped New Orleans. Newspapers reported each new strike with sensational headlines, calling him the Axeman, the devil who walked in human skin. Then, in March of 1919, the folklore of the city leapt from rumor to something unearthly. A letter appeared in the local papers, supposedly from the Axeman himself. Its words were chilling, typed with calm, taunting precision. Hell is empty, and the devil walks in New Orleans. He has been kind enough to grant a reprieve to anyone playing jazz music in their home on the night of March 19th. If you wish to be spared, fill your house with jazz. If you do not, then beware. The city held its breath. The night arrived. From the French Quarter to the outskirts, homes were alive with ragtime and jazz, pianos and trumpets echoing through the humid streets. Doors were left unlocked, families huddled behind curtains, listening for the inevitable crash. And remarkably, that night, no one was killed. The Axeman vanished, as if the music itself had shielded the city from his wrath. Yet the story only deepened the mystery. Who was he? Some speculated he was a deranged soldier returning from the horrors of World War. Others whispered of organized crime, or a deranged neighbor with a grudge. The letter's claim of being a demon who loved jazz blurred the line between man and myth. Newspapers played into it, some writing that he was not a man at all, but something supernatural, stalking the streets with axes swinging under the moonlight. The city fed the legend, and the legend fed the fear. Over the next year, attacks continued sporadically. Each one left investigators scratching their heads. The pattern was inconsistent. Sometimes families were brutally murdered. Sometimes only a single occupant was attacked. Sometimes the Axemen seemed to vanish entirely for weeks, only to strike again without warning. Every lead ended in frustration. Witnesses described shadowy figures, fleeting glimpses of a man in dark clothing, but nothing definitive. Suspects were questioned, but no arrests were ever made. It was as if he existed in and out of reality, leaving the city to speculate who or what he truly was. The Axeman's folklore only grew after the newspaper letter. Some reported seeing him leaping from rooftops or slipping silently across alleyways, a phantom who moved faster than any human should. Others swore they felt a cold breath at their backs as they played jazz late into the night. Convinced, the demon himself listened to the music and decided their fate. Tales spread that he preferred victims of certain backgrounds, sparing others though no pattern ever fully emerged. Families barricaded themselves at night, trusting in music, in superstition, or in prayer. Some played jazz endlessly, day and night, fearing silence more than the heat or the dark. The city became a stage of anxiety, each note of a trumpet or a piano key a thin barrier against death. Yet, even as the fear reached a fever pitch, strange contradictions haunted the case. Why did the Axeman sometimes leave people alive, even unharmed? Why the letter, typed with humor and theatrical flair, promising reprieve to those who followed his instructions? Why did the murders stop as abruptly as they began, without any resolution, arrest, or even a clear explanation? Over the decades, theorists tried to untangle the mystery. Some suggested he was a member of the Italian mafia targeting rival families, using the demon story to mask motives. Others believed he was a disturbed loner, his letters crafted to gain notoriety, his crimes sporadic by design. A few believed entirely in the supernatural, that the Axeman was a vengeful spirit of the bayou, a manifestation of the city's fears, punishing or sparing according to some cryptic moral code. None of these theories could be proven. None could fully explain the inconsistencies, and that is what makes the story endure. The Axeman of New Orleans was never caught. No one knew his true identity. The letter, preserved in archives, remains as eerie and enigmatic as the night it appeared. The murders, when analyzed, provide few clues beyond the terror they induced. It is a story where logic clashes with folklore, where reality cannot fully contain the myth, and where the line between human and monster blurs with every retelling. Some historians suggest that the Axeman eventually died, moved, or simply grew tired. His story passed down through newspapers, whispers, and now digital retellings. Others claim he left the city, satisfied that he had sown enough fear to secure his legend for eternity. Whatever the truth, New Orleans carries it still, the jazz notes in the night, the shadowy figure in the alley, the memory of a demon who may have been a man or something far stranger. For a city that thrives on music, celebration, and life, the Axeman story is a ghostly reminder that fear can lurk in even the most vibrant places, that some criminals are never caught, some mysteries never solved, and some legends, however unbelievable, feel terrifyingly real. And for anyone who walks the streets of New Orleans after dark, the story whispers in the wind, daring you to listen closely, play your jazz, and hope the shadows pass you by. Because in the world of the Axeman, no one knows if the music will save you, or if the demon is simply waiting for the final note to fall silent. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories like this.